They called my 7-year-old cousin a monster. I think the real one just killed her. They told us my cousin Zosime was killed by an animal. That's the neat, tidy explanation the cops gave my aunt, something to let a grieving mother sleep at night. But I was the one who had to help clean out Zosie's apartment. I was the one who found her laptop, still plugged in, sitting open on her little kitchen table. A single Word document was on the screen. It was called "This Part is True." I'm pasting it here. I haven't slept since I read it. The coroner said she was stabbed, but also gnawed on. That's the word they used. Gnawed. It started in the quiet part of the afternoon. I was 7. The whole world was the length of my backyard and the taste of popsicles. I was in my room, drawing on my Etch A Sketch, making the wobbly gray line form a house with a crooked chimney. I set it down to grab my juice box from the nightstand. When I looked back, my house was gone. The screen was almost clear, except for 4 letters drawn in a perfect, sharp line. ZOS was my name. I figured my dad was playing a trick on me. I giggled, shook the toy hard until the screen was a fresh slate of gray powder, and set it on my bed. I turned my back for maybe a second, just to look out the window at a blue jay on the fence. When I looked back, there were new words. "Ni is hungry." My breath caught. It wasn't my dad's handwriting. It wasn't anyone's. The lines were too straight. I picked up the stylus, my hand shaking, and scrawled underneath it, WHO? The gray powder swirled under the plastic screen. New words formed themselves faster than I could have written them. The Blotched Man. A shiver went down my back. I didn't know what it meant, but it felt dirty. Wrong. Before I could even think, another sentence appeared beneath it. She... I kicked it under my bed and tried to forget about it. Tried to go back to my coloring books, but the shadows in my room seemed longer than before. Night came. Mom tucked me in, and Dad left the hall light on like always. I lay there for hours, staring at the ceiling, listening to the house settle. A floorboard creaked upstairs, then another. I told myself it was just the house. It was always just the house, but I couldn't stop myself. I crawled out of bed and reached under it, my fingers finding the cool plastic of the Etch A Sketch. I pulled it out. My room was dark, but the gray screen seemed to almost glow. There was new writing on it. "In the house, Zosie." Nahai. I didn't scream. I couldn't. The sound was a hard lump in my throat. I ran out of my room and did the only thing a 7-year-old could think to do. I locked the front door. I ran to the kitchen and slid the flimsy bolt on the back door. Then I crept back to my room, my heart hammering against my ribs. I'd trapped it in here with us. I'd trapped myself in here with it. My blood went cold. I wanted to smash the stupid toy, but I couldn't look away. I had to know. I had to know. I scribbled a single word. And I was next. I slid open my bedroom window, ignoring the squeal of the frame. It wasn't a long drop to the garden. I landed in Mom's prize rose bushes, the thorns tearing red lines into my arms and legs. I didn't feel it. I scrambled into the old tool shed in the corner of the yard and pulled the heavy wooden door shut. It smelled like gasoline and damp earth. I peeked through a crack in the warped wood. For a long time, nothing happened. Then, the light in my parents' window went out. Then the hall light. Then the kitchen. The house was a dark, silent shape against the stars. That's where the police found me hours later, curled up behind the lawnmower, whispering about a blotchy man. The kitchen knife was on the floor next to my mom. My blood was on it from the rose bushes. Their blood was on it too. But my little fingerprints were the last ones on the handle from when I made my toast that morning. That's all they cared about. 20 years. 20 years in white rooms with soft walls, telling the story to doctors who just nodded and wrote things on their clipboards. 20 years of them trying to convince me the Blotched Man wasn't real. I got out last week. I have my own place now. A small apartment on the 3rd floor. I'm writing this all down to get it out. To prove to myself that it was real. I just want to. There's a scratching at my door. Not a knock. A dry, dragging sound, like fingernails on wood. I can see a shadow under the door. It's dark and wet, and it's spreading.